It's good to be here. Um, I'll be speaking slowly. English is not my first language, but hopefully you will understand me. And it's a privilege to stand this morning here before you. And I know that some of you, I'm not sure if you are here, but been in Lithuania, and probably some time ago. And if you've been in Lithuania, could you raise a hand? Okay. Okay. Back there. And I remember that we had a tough time while we had made some decisions. We bought a property. And this church, sent us volunteers to help us to renovate it. And Solus at that time was traveling, U.S. and making friendships. Our pastor Solus, and I was the one who was arranging all the work locally, like buying stuff, preparing for work to be done. And it was so amazing to see, to meet people who spend their, few weeks of their holiday they get through the year and come to this kind of country which is so far, far away. Like you have to fly at least 24 hours to get there. It's a bit crazy. And to do the work, it was such a blessing. And it kind of, I'm for the first time visiting this church, and it feels like there's some kind of unseen connection, which was the seeds were put a long time ago. So I'm really blessed with that. And we're blessed with your hospitality, like Pastor John, his wife Bev, and others, amazing people we met here. So it's really a blessing. And this morning I wanted to share a little bit about our church in Lithuania. And we just one more year, 2025 is over. We had in our main church in Klaipėda, we had a celebration. We celebrated our church 20 year from the beginning. Like it's already something for us. It's 29 years. That's a lot. And we looked what God did through all this year, and we celebrated the baptism. We usually do about 20 baptisms a year, and we celebrated the new stage of the church. Our main pastor, Saul, he moved to Vilnius, to our capital, and we have started church there 10 years ago, and he strengthened that church, and it's growing, and it's a beautiful time. The church in Kaunas, the youngest one, Victoria, comes from there, and this Sunday was the first Sunday they met in a new place, new location, and lots of people came, more than 100 people, 125 adults, and they have lots of children. And and that's kind of, a great picture. That's wonderful, And we also have this other side of the church. Normally, we don't boast about it. We don't share a lot. It's mostly probably on the personal level. But I have a friend. He's a businessman, and he's a great guy. And a few years ago, he was having a very tough time in his business. He almost lost his business. And one day he was mowing the grass with this kind of tractor, and he fell off. and the tractor, ran over him. And he lost, half of his fingers. He almost died there. And after some, time, he recovered, and his wife got diagnosed with a cancer. And, it's kind of you meeting with this guy regularly on almost each week. And it's crazy to see, and the faithfulness he shows in all of that. And my another friend, he was a drug addict, and he serves in a rehab center at the moment. And he has such a passion for people whose lives were broken, who fighting, in their lives, like, with different addictions. And he has a gift of evangelist. He's so passionate about the people. And his prayer was for the last year, God, give me 10,000 souls. Well, that's a big vision for small Lithuania. And and I believe, well, I talked with him, so how did it go? Well, for sure, personally, he didn't meet that much people. But he was shown on TV, our national TV, and was able to share his story. And then on local, we could say local TV, and this, if we count, probably it would add up, and at the same time, it looks like he's doing such a great job. At the same time, his marriage really in a crisis. He's almost on divorce, and all these questions comes to God. How can it be? How can it be that you're proclaiming gospel, you are so successful, and at the same time you're kind of suffering such crisis in your life? And another family from from Kaunas, where Victoria comes, they kind of felt God called them to move to Dubai and to join one church, to serve in there and to strengthen that church. So they did that step. They moved there. And just shortly after they moved, their son, 5-year-old son, they noticed that he's having some problems, and he was diagnosed with a cancer. And all these questions, God, how can this be? How can this happen? And another couple there in Kaunas, they lost their daughter also to the cancer. She was about the same age. And the interesting thing is that all these challenges, struggles, losses, they did not make the church, the community weaker, but they strengthened it. So the Job, you all know Job. He writes, he's written these words: does not man have hard service on earth? Are not his days like those of a hired laborer? Does not man have hard service on earth? Job was, he started great, a great success story. And if we imagine, just, imagine that that success story would last, would end up the way it started. He feared God, he loved God, God was blessing him, and he was doing great. And that's the end of the story. Probably it wouldn't appear in the Bible. Because, like, what we can learn from it, we would get envy to him. Well, God, why you are not blessing me like Job? But we know how the story turned out, yeah? We know that God stepped down and took off his protection, and Job suffered lots of losses, lots of pain, and I would say that we were blessed more by what he went through, all this trial, than reading this beginning of the story, that he was blessed. Everything was great, So we have to learn, these sufferings, pain, difficult times, our struggles, they make something special in us. We wouldn't choose them by ourselves. Who wants a hard life? No one wants hard life, but yet they come. Apostle Paul, he's writing to Timothy, for I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time for my departure is near. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. I have fought the good fight. Imagine what a sad story would be if Apostle Paul would summarize his life somehow like, I traveled a lot, I've seen many beautiful places, I met great people, and I wish God let me stay a bit longer on this earth. That also wouldn't be a great blessing for us. But when Paul talks at the end of his life that he fought a good fight, and we really know that he really had many fights. Many fights. He was persecuted, he was beaten, he was in prison. People wanted to kill him, and lots of traveling, dangerous places, shipwreck, and many challenges he faced. And at the end of his life, being able to say that I finished my race, I have kept the faith. I have kept the faith. So, in all those stories I told you, from Lithuania, from our church, from people I know, in all those cases, they kept their faith. Going all these struggles, going through all these challenges in their life, they keep their faith. And when I still keep meeting with some of those friends who are close to me, and that businessman, and that guy who works in the rehab center, the most precious thing is to see that fruit in their life. They did not get bitter. They still have many questions, for sure, for God, because we don't get many answers, like why does this happen? But the quality of their faith is different. The depth of their faith is different than it used to be, and it's such an encouragement for all others, and it gives such a solid base in the church. That's we're not just celebrating things and enjoying things, but we support each other in the hard days. And if we look at Jesus coming to this earth, I often ask myself, he was the privileged one. We don't have, when we're born into this world, we don't have a choice, like where we were born, what place, what family, what environment. We don't choose all of that. But when Jesus came to this world, he was the only one who could choose, because he is God. He is God. Like, if we had this kind of option, probably we would choose the best, the safest place, the best environment, the care we would get, So, and he did not choose that. He chose, some kind of place with no care, with no any comfort. And just even from the beginning, he became a target for the emperor, like he wanted to kill him. So why did God choose that way? Why did he choose that way? And I think that was he did not want to use his divine privileges. He wanted to be like one of us. He was not avoiding any fights, any struggles. He was choosing the life with no privileges. And the same when we think about the end of his life, I think he could choose some kind of more easy death, easy way to do the work of salvation, And it looks like he chose the most difficult one, just to show us that kind of to set the path, to show that he is not being God, he is not using his rights, and he is not taking the easiest path, the easiest way. And it's, I don't know what about you, but that to me speaks a lot about his heart, his attitude towards us. He understands us, for sure. So I hope these stories, these are not very happy stories. They have their weight, but they have their happy ending. When we see from the other perspective, not from our this regular life perspective, when we see from the other side, these are great stories, celebration stories, like when people choosing faith, not in a favor, some kind of their comfort, So, yeah. So the stories I heard from you, the stories, the people I met here, 10 or even more years ago, and they encourage me. They encourage in my faith journey, and I hope the stories you hear from Lithuania, they will encourage your journey with the Lord. Amen.